Hey, Spartan fans, welcome into this latest edition of the Michigan State Spartans Insider Podcast. I'm your beat reporter from Michigan State Spartans on SI, Aidan Champion, and we are getting so close to week one, Michigan State's home opener against Western Michigan, August 29th. We're under a week away now. You can almost feel it. There's going to be some major keys for this team this season that it needs to stick to in order to be successful. We're going to take a look at what they can ill afford to do this season. And these things are things that no team can do. It applies to every team, but it's something that specifically was were real concerns with Michigan State last season. Were things that severely hindered them, kept them from making a bowl game, kept them from winning that sixth game, and perhaps even more. I mean, there were at least a couple games that Michigan State probably should have won that it did not. And it had it made a bowl game last year, I think the outlook would be a lot different for this team. It'd be considered one of those teams that's on the come up, that's rising, but instead, one win can make the difference, and that it has for Michigan State as far as the national outlook has gone. A lot of people writing off the Spartans, but I don't think they should. I think they're going to be a sneaky team in the Big Ten this year. And as long as they can avoid doing these things, I think they will be. First thing, really, first two things, because I mean, these are just two football 101 things: turnovers and penalties. Turnovers, obviously, a lot of them from Michigan State last year. Aidan Childs, he improved a lot throughout the season. Started to cut those turnovers down the stretch, but still ended up tied in the Big Ten for interceptions with 11. Also had some fumbles, and he's just got to be able to protect the ball. And it's not just him, of course. Turnovers come in a variety of different ways, and everyone's got to be on the same page. You got to value your possessions because I mean, that's the name of the game is keeping the ball in your possession as much as you can and executing when you do. So turnovers going to be absolutely crucial for the Spartans this year, and it can make or break a game for you. Penalties, same type of deal. I mean, Michigan State early on in the season, if you remember, there were a lot of problems with their discipline. Good thing is Jonathan Smith has said, in those first two scrimmages they had in fall camp, he liked the discipline a lot. Felt there weren't too many penalties. They played pretty clean, and they had Big Ten officials out there. So that's a really good sign for them, especially in the early going of the season. You want to avoid that. That's when you see a lot of penalties. Um, I've said before that the discipline develops over time. And the sooner that you can be disciplined and avoid those, the better off you'll be in the long run. So right off the bat, you need to avoid penalties, and um, an important thing that the staff needs to really hammer with these guys is what they can and can't do. Um, and a lot of that's on the O line. You see a lot of holding calls. That's something that they'll need to avoid this season as much as they can. You got to kind of find that balance between that and still being aggressive up front. So this team definitely is going to need to do that. That's going to need to be a major emphasis, especially when you consider the issues they had with that last season. This one, I mean, you can't avoid this health, but it was one of those factors that attributed to Michigan State's setbacks last season. Injuries, they had some right out the gate, held them back big time. You look at the secondary, that was a group that was plagued all year long. Um, and this could have been a really solid defense last year, but injuries really got in the way. And that's something you can only hope that you're able to avoid. Like I said, you can't control it, obviously. Um, but the healthier you are, better chance you have at reaching your goals. And so far, things looking good for Michigan State on the health front. Jonathan Smith said they're relatively healthy. Really, the only concern is Nakai Martinez could be out for week one. Um, so we'll see where things are with that. But yeah, overall, they're relatively healthy, and that's a really good sign going into week one. So already on the right track with that. Um, and here's something, you know, that they need to have looking further down the road. There's a real good chance this team starts out 3-0. It should start out 3-0. Then I've been talking all off season about how I think this most crucial stretch of the year will be USC and Nebraska, both road games. Fortunately for the Spartans, they have a bye week in between those. So whatever happens on the West Coast for that USC game, they can come back and adapt and get rested and kind of regather. But I've also said that I think you're looking really good if you can split those two games. I think it's very unlikely you win both of them because these are two teams that are on the come up, that have gotten off season praise as trending as teams that are trending up. And so Michigan State's going to be absolutely crucial that they're able to at least win one of those two matchups. But here's the thing: if you come back home for homecoming against UCLA, you gotta make sure to stay grounded because this team, the program, even as a whole, has not seen much success since that 11-win 2021 season. And if you know, are if you get off to a strong start and your goal of your first goal of making a bowl game is right there within reach, just need two wins to do it. If you're sitting at 4-1, um, or more unlikely scenario, if you're coming back for homecoming and you're 5-0, even more so the case. Um, you can't be complacent. Got to be humble. This, like I said, this team hasn't tasted that kind of success yet. So if you're early on in the year already on the cusp of reaching a bowl game, you can't be satisfied. That's the point where you got to turn it up even more because you'll know then if you're 4-1 or 5-0, that you've got the potential to be a really solid team. And so that should drive you. That should be a major incentive for you to want to be better, to be a great team, and potentially, one of the top teams in the league. Again, this is looking a little far down the road, but very well could get to that point. And I think you should. I think you should be at least 4-1 by homecoming. I really do. I think this team can do that. I think there's a really good chance of it. So if you get to that point, you gotta remain calm and you gotta amp it up even more at that point. So, a couple more things. Well, really one more. I mean, there's a lot, but these are the major ones. And this one, very crucial. You cannot settle for field goals. This team's offensive red zone execution was just terrible last season. Really got to get that improved. That's going to be one of the biggest areas for this team. And, Jonathan Smith said that was very improved in scrimmage too, was offensive red zone execution. And um, if this team can be relatively efficient in the red zone, that can offensively that can make a huge difference because you know that can make the difference in a game is a matter of 3 points, matter of a touchdown, 7 points. So you cannot settle for field goals, especially when Michigan State's kicking situation, it's looking iffy right now with health, and you don't have Jonathan Kim anymore. So you gotta be able uh, to really execute when you get down there, and that's going to be major, major key for this team. Brian Lindgren, offensive coordinator, talked about it earlier in fall camp, said that run game, uh, that's going to be a big part of it. So something they excelled at Oregon State, and overall, this team's run game, we've been talking about it, that it needs to be improved. I said it's going to be the most improved area of the game for Michigan State. If it is, you're likely to have a better red zone efficiency on offense as well. I think those two kind of go hand in hand if you're really emphasizing the run game when you get down there. So those are things I'm really looking at as far as what you guys stay away from. Um, if this team can get away from doing all those things, they should be in good shape this year. They could uh they could be the 7 or 8 win team. I think they will be. So we will have to see, but it all starts week 1, August 29th, less than a week out, and Western Michigan coming to town. I'm sure a lot of you will be there. Hope you're all having a great weekend, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you.